For over 2,000 years, the concept of the atom was an unproven philosophical guess. Ancient Greek philosophers proposed that matter reached an indivisible limit, an atomos, simply because it seemed logically necessary. This was reasoning through pure thought, devoid of experimental evidence. It offered no practical framework to explain how different physical materials actually behaved when they interacted in a laboratory. In the early 19th century, John Dalton moved the discussion into the realm of quantifiable measurement. By analyzing the exact weights of reacting gases and solids, he developed a model where the behavior of visible matter could be predicted using specific weighted units. Dalton did not see the atom. He deduced its existence by measuring macroscopic properties. He looked at the total mass of reactants and products to find the underlying mathematical laws governing their combination. In 1808, he published a new system of chemical philosophy. This text proposed 5 core postulates that outlined exactly how these unseen particles dictate the properties of the visible universe. To map this out, Dalton developed a new visual language. He created distinct symbols to represent different elemental atoms, providing a structural way to visualize chemical bonds long before they could be physically observed. To understand the mechanics of matter, we will rebuild Dalton's 5 core postulates from first principles, tracing the exact empirical logic he used to prove them. Then, we will apply the insights of 20th century physics to see where Dalton's axioms required surgical revision to account for new discoveries. The challenge is straightforward: demonstrating that an invisible, microscopic world exists using nothing but basic laboratory reactions and a balanced scale. Dalton's first postulate establishes the scientific baseline. All physical matter is composed of extremely small, discrete particles called atoms. His second postulate dictates the rules for those particles. Atoms of a given element are identical in size, mass, and all other physical properties. A necessary corollary follows. If every atom of a specific element is identical to its peers, then atoms of different elements must differ in size and mass. A gold atom has a specific mass. A sulfur atom has another. This establishes a mechanistic universe. Matter is not a continuous, infinitely divisible fluid. It is constructed from a finite inventory of distinct, uniform building blocks. Decades earlier, the chemist Antoine Lavoisier proved the law of conservation of mass. He demonstrated that in a closed system, the total weight of the ingredients before a reaction matches the total weight of the products. Dalton internalized this macroscopic law and wrote Postulate 3. Atoms themselves cannot be subdivided, created, or destroyed in ordinary chemical reactions. Watch this closed system reaction on a balance scale. The numerical mass-weight remains perfectly stable. The weight stays constant because the microscopic inventory of atoms is unchanged. The spheres swap partners and rearrange bonds, but no atoms vanish or appear. For Lavoisier's macroscopic conservation of mass to work in the physical laboratory, the microscopic units doing the reacting must be indestructible. Dalton then codified how these units link together. Postulate 4 states that atoms of different elements combine in simple whole number ratios to form chemical compounds. This data visualization charts Dalton's empirical evidence, starting with a fixed mass of 140 grams of nitrogen gas. To create the first compound, nitrous oxide, that nitrogen requires exactly 80 grams of oxygen to react completely. To create the second compound, nitric oxide, the same 140 grams of nitrogen requires exactly 160 grams of oxygen. To form the third compound, nitrogen dioxide, the fixed block of nitrogen combines with exactly 320 grams of oxygen. The required masses of oxygen are 80, 160, and 320 grams. Each requirement is a perfect multiple of the first, a 1 to 2 to 4 integer ratio. This mathematical pattern is impossible if matter is a continuous substance. If you could divide matter infinitely, elements would react at random fractional decimals, requiring 83 grams of oxygen or 112 grams, but they don't. The law of multiple proportions provides the mathematical evidence that matter is quantized. Oxygen can only be added to a reaction in discrete, identical atomic chunks. This leads directly to Postulate 5. In chemical reactions, atoms are combined, separated, or rearranged. Dalton established strict rules of synthesis. If two elements form one compound, he assumed a binary 1-to-1 ratio. If they form two compounds, the next is a ternary combination of three atoms. Laboratory tools force these structural realignments. Together, these 5 postulates form a complete, self-consistent architectural framework. By 1808, Dalton had built a bridge capable of translating the macroscopic weights of laboratory powders and gases into an invisible, microscopic reality. Dalton's framework survived until the late 19th century, when new experimental evidence required specific modifications to his absolute statements. The first correction applied to postulate 1. Atoms are not indivisible. The atom is actually a composite body constructed from even smaller subatomic particles. This data table illustrates the internal architecture Dalton could not see. The atom relies on a dense central nucleus containing positively charged protons and neutral neutrons, surrounded by a shell of negatively charged, nearly massless electrons. This internal structure meant the atom was no longer a solid, featureless sphere. It became a dynamic system of interacting charges, providing the physical basis for understanding chemical bonding at the electronic level. The second correction applied to postulate 2. We now know that atoms of a given element are not perfectly identical in mass. This anomaly is caused by the existence of isotopes. This diagram shows a side-by-side comparison of two variations of carbon. An element's chemical identity is dictated by its proton count, not its total mass. Both atoms have exactly 6 protons, making them both carbon, but carbon-14 carries 2 additional neutrons. This creates a heavier version of the same element without altering its chemical behavior. Because isotopes exist, modern chemistry must calculate a characteristic average mass for elements, discarding Dalton's assumption of perfect uniformity. The final correction addresses postulate 3, the rule that atoms can never be created or destroyed. Dalton's logic remains valid for ordinary chemical reactions. Heating elements over a laboratory flame will only separate or recombine the existing atoms. The exception occurs in radioactivity and nuclear transmutation. Under high-energy conditions, atomic nuclei can fracture, destroying old atoms and creating new ones. Isotopes, subatomic particles, and nuclear physics forced necessary updates to the 1808 text, but none of these discoveries invalidated the core premise of his work. Dalton's contribution was the proof that matter is particulate and follows laws of structural rearrangement. While the details of the particles have evolved, the principle of a quantized, atom-based universe remains the functional framework for calculating every chemical reaction today.